So Yooka-Laylee happened, and you can just look at the gameplay and say, oh yeah, mediocrity. Yeah, Yooka-Laylee had worlds that were too big to navigate and mini games that were added to. But more importantly, it was a spiritual successor. Why I say this is because if a game tries to copy off another thing, it's just not as fun. I want a new experience. If I want to play another game, well, I'll play another game and wait until a new one gets announced. That's why I was interested in what they were going to do with Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, as this game is a 2D platformer instead of a 3D one, and Playtonic themselves both denied the Donkey Kong Country comparisons and claim that they will never use the term spiritual successor ever again, which I was happy with because Playtonic is following in the footsteps of what Gears for Breakfast did with The Hat in Time. It was a spiritual successor, now it's an original IP. And with The Hat in Time, that turned out great, so I was expecting the same thing with the Impossible Lair. Nevertheless, this is my review of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. So the game starts out with our duo coming out of a grand tome called the Royal Stignum, and right when they get there, Capital B is causing havoc, and another B, Queen Phoebe, gives you a tutorial for the game, who protects you with a shield of battalions, which Capital B steals. You then enter the Impossible Lair, attempt to beat it, and die. I kinda did not like that they pushed us to the hardest level at the beginning, when we literally just started the game. Like, why not make it so that Queen Phoebe tells you about the Impossible Lair after the tutorial, and you can play it later? You then get sent to an overworld by Queen Phoebe. She asks you what went wrong, and Yooka tells her that the Impossible Lair is, get this, impossible. She then tells Yooka and Laylee that they can free all the battalions from Capital B's grasp, they can use them as a shield again and get back into the Impossible Lair and kick Capital's B. Hind. Sorry. You can take on the Impossible Lair at any time, so the duo can either find all the battalions and beat it that way, or just go straight into the Impossible Lair if you're tough as nails. I kinda like it. Now let's get into the gameplay. The game is much more fast-paced compared to the first game, as you have to quickly dodge objects while still collecting twit coins and quills. Quills basically do the same thing that they did in the last game, except to spend things other than new abilities. Their little twit coins, yes, that's actually what they're called, can be used to get rid of paywalls from Trouser as a poke to microtransactions in gaming. And I won't lie, it's a fun challenge. You access levels through chapters that Phoebe ripped out of the Impossible Lair, but in order to play them, you must explore a huge bird's-eye view overworld full of puzzles and other things to do. It's really fun and gives the game consistency throughout. Tonics are back and are much better now. There's 62 tonics, and you can actually have more than one tonic now. However, you won't get as many quills the more tonics you have, and you have to cough up more quills in order to use them. I find not getting as many quills as I could with more tonics, but why do I need to pay to use a tonic? I found a tonic, shouldn't I be rewarded for just that instead of having to deal with a paywall on top of searching for the tonics? That could force me to go back in levels to farm quills, and nobody likes farming, unless you're an RPG guy. Poor soul. To top that off, some of the deaths in this game feel really, really cheap. Like thinking you found a secret somewhere and it's actually a bottomless pit. That hurts. There's also an option to skip levels after you die a lot of times, which I found useful, but you miss things like twit coins and quills, which are both basically required to go through the game completely, so I used it knowingly. But hey, this game was still very enjoyable, coming from someone who's never played Donkey Kong Country before. The writing was really just the same as it was in the first game. It got some chuckles out of me, but no laughing out loud stuff. I won't count that, however, because the game's not really something that you would play for writing or something. It's more just about the gameplay. Unlike A Hat in Time, that really made me laugh.
Tasty! Tea, a hot drink made from boiling water and leaves of plants. Great for getting warmed up on a cold day, either when you drink it or when someone bumps into you.
And for the ending, well, I'm not really there yet. The game is kind of long, and if I want to get the video out in time, I have to hurry up before the game falls out of irrelevancy. But from the 7 or so hours that I played, it's a really good time. Sure, it does have its problems in the end, but all video games have problems. So with that concluded, I give Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair my final rating of 9.1 out of 10. Thanks for tuning in, and you are blessed.